as we sit here and talk about this, and even just looking at the picture you posted there, I mean, he's going for the Bieber vibes, right?
Yeah, yeah, he's kind of got like he's been having like that early Bieber mop top action going on, little remix on that haircut. Yeah, no question. And now, of course, it's come full circle. He signed with Scooter Braun for management, and he has a smash hit single featuring Justin Bieber that peaked at number 3 on Billboard. So, Kid
Crazy.
Laroi, yeah, it seems like they know what they want to try and do with him image wise. That's clear.
Yeah, and I do have to say, I think the Bieber song isn't that bad. I think it's pretty good. This is a I don't know, okay, what do we want to call it? Extended EP, I guess. Fuck Love 3, Over
Right.
You, which
Yes, and that's the funniest thing, man. Is when I saw this album or uh, deluxe
3 disc
deluxe
album.
mixtape come out. Yeah, not an album. I was like, oh, he's calling it Fuck Love 3. That's weird because the debut mixtape Fuck Love comes out in 2020. A few months later, a deluxe version called Fuck Love Savage comes out. The first one is 15 songs, Savage adds 7 more. Then I saw, oh, Fuck Love 3 is out. He's kind of being generous with calling Savage Fuck Love 2. And then, upon further review, Fuck Love 3 only added 7 more songs and is the deluxe to the deluxe edition. And it's a great example of the DLC nature of music releases when it comes to programming streaming. But yeah, there's only 7 new tracks on this. He says this is the end of his F Love series. So we'll lead that into the proper debut, as it were. But he's made a lot of noise with this, in this past year. It's been about a year or so since the original iteration of this tape came out.
Yeah, I thought this. I listened to the whole thing through because I hadn't really been tuned into the Kid Laroi, and it's really interesting to kind of see what these first 7 are like compared to the rest of it. Because if you look back, I mean, you have Marshmello, Machine Gun Kelly on a couple of the
Mhm.
tracks, I think from last year, and then before that, Lil Mosey. You have a Juice World feature, which is that posthumous.
So that's kind of the whole rub with the Kid Leroy. We can just get into it now. So he originally signed to what was it called? Grade A, Little Bibby's Columbia Records imprint. Leroy got discovered when he had his 14 in a Dream EP out on SoundCloud when he was literally 14. That was in 2018. He's from Australia, and Little Baby discovered him, signs him to his imprint, which he had already signed Juice World to, and Juice kind of and brings Leroy under his wing. That Leroy opens up for Juice on the Death Race for Love tour, at least the Australian legs. I don't know if it was every date, and they seem to strike up a friendship and made some songs together. If you remember, Kid Leroy was on "Hate the Other Side," the Marshmallow Polo G track off the Posthumous Juice record from 2020, and they seem to have some kind of relationship before Juice passed. And the thing, though, was those early tracks, the original iteration of Fuck Love in particular, this music just sounds like someone biting Juice World, which is kind of gross to me because, like, isn't that your friend or he was your friend, at least your collaborator? Like, you're just going to bite his whole sound. I think the problem I had with it was it's like he's not bringing anything new to it. Like it just sounded like Juice karaoke to me.
Hmm.
Nowadays, like you said, the new tracks on Fuck Love 3, not as clearly Juice inspired, much more
No.
singing and blatant pop influence, right? He's kind of leaving the singy melodic hip hop stuff behind, at least for now. So I guess in a year's time, it's interesting to see that change. But yeah, early on, it's like this is just juice shit, and I
Yeah.
don't know if it's that good.
Yeah. I didn't think the second half of or the disc 2 and 3 of this
Mhm.
extended mixtape were nearly as compelling as the first couple tracks that are newly released. And I think the song "Stay" with Justin Bieber, obviously, a clear standout. This it kind of reminds me listening to of like synth, 80s synth punk kind of almost. Is some of the
Mm,
sound like really injecting a little more like bite to that sound than I kind of expected. Getting Polo G, obviously someone that you mentioned he's kind of collaborated with in ways in the past, but getting him on Not Sober, I thought was a pretty good look for this. Um, and then I thought the song "Don't Leave Me" with G Herbo and Lil Durk had potential to be a little bit more interesting than it ended up being. It starts off with these like I don't even know what that sound is. It's like maybe strings being like plucked in some weird way, but it starts off kind of different, and then it kind of falls into a more traditional pop rap sound. But
mm,
overall, I thought it was. I thought there were songs on here that had more potential to pop off. I think that's a good sign for someone he's only like 17 going on 18.
that's right. Yeah, turns 18 August. Yes, Stay with Bieber's kind of funny to me because that's just once again the blatant 80s production. Those drums very reminiscent of what you'd hear on Blinding Lights, a song notably co-produced by my guy Charlie Puth, though. Something like that.
Great TikTok follow.
Yeah, Puth's a talented man, and I got to say, he put out that notice that he's like taking his time with the next album, and then went on this whole story about how he never actually had time to fully craft his debut album voice notes because he was just trying to make the next hit while on the
Hmm.
road and stuff. And I was like, wow, you made this good music while being like on the bus and like frantically busy. What's it gonna sound like when you got all this time? How tantalizing. I don't know if there's that much craft from Kid Laroi, at least not yet. Um, Notable too, having just rechecked Spotify, he released a deluxe to the deluxe to the deluxe, my guy. There are now 6 more songs added to Fuck Love 3 plus Over You. And it's actually hilarious. You have to like, try and find them. Okay, so let's see. We scroll down. All right, so go to Pikachu. That was the first track off Savage. So everything above Pikachu is new. Of course, if you don't know this, this is just a glorified playlist at this point. Annoying. But yeah, Killer Roy, he's already super famous and super successful, right? And I wonder what the ceiling is. Like making a song with Bieber, like, are you just gonna like just become your own pop force? In a sense, he already is one. And he's gotten to this point off music that I found quite uninspired. Now he's really pivoting away from that. And maybe that's good enough. Like to me, the music generally, like yeah, the 80s stuff can be noticeable, but like it's quite sanitized, right? And I
Hmm.
think lyrically, he's quite uninspiring. It's just kind of simple shit.
Yeah.
So can't say I'm the biggest fan, but I'm more interested in him leaving the emo rap stuff and at least just becoming a pop singer because I think that has more potential to actually entertain me.
Yeah. I think the pop stuff is definitely the lane that he fits best into. And it's pretty obvious that some big names see something in him. And I think these first 7 tracks, like I said, show me a little bit more than what was on the second half of the album, which I found really just not very
Yeah,
interesting. So I think he's moving in a good direction. And going back to the lyrical stuff, being 17, I think it can be hard to really,
it's true.
unless you really have something to say, it can be really hard to write lyrics that are really inspired. So I'll give him a
Yeah,
pass on that.
yeah. I hear you. One thing he had talked about is he's an Australian guy, and he
Yeah.
doesn't sound or perform like someone from Australia. And he gave an explanation that it was because he's spending a lot of time in Chicago when he moved to America, and he actually kind of had to change the way he spoke so people understood him more. I'm like, huh, that is kind of interesting. Perhaps that is something in terms of life experience that you could throw into the music in some way. I don't know because hearing about how you're a toxic boyfriend for the 30th time just doesn't do it for me.
No, I get it. I get it for sure. Well, I think we'll probably add one of these tracks to our Nostalgia Best of 2021. So follow that on Spotify.